Hello and welcome to the In Focus series section of Drishti IAS. I am Aisha Singh and in today's video we will be discussing about the electronic waste and its status in India and what are the hazardous problems or what can be the probable solutions of it. So let us first understand the timeline of the video. First we will be looking at the news and then what is electronic waste or popularly known as e-waste. Then the electronic waste generation in India, what is the current status of it, that India's e-waste problem, what are the problems that our nation is going through, then what are the challenges in the management of these e-waste problems in India, then the electronic waste management rules 2016, and then the way forward. In the end, a prelims MCQ. This topic is of relevance from general studies paper 2 and paper 3. From paper 3, that is environmental pollution, and from paper 2 perspective it should be government policies and interventions. See, from exam perspective what you should be able to know, the different components of electronic waste, what are its problems and what can be the probable solution. That is important for you to know. So let's get started and see the news, and the news has been taken from Indian Express and it says, how the e-waste you produce is providing poor children with a dangerous living. So the first point is how, second is e-waste your produce is providing poor children with a dangerous life. So what are the problems that this e-waste is causing to the people or to the rag pickers who are going and collecting materials from this e-waste? So let us first understand that what is e-waste or electronic waste. See, the term e-waste stands for electronic waste. So E stands for electronic. Electronic means like whatever the waste we take from, you can say the laptops, the desktops and all other electrical appliances that are around you. So what happens is that these electrical appliances, when they are dumped, they contain certain kind of metals. You can say silver, gold, copper. So all the people who are in that zone of pickers who pick these electronic waste and then pick these metals from it. So what happens is that these metals that they pick from these appliances or electronic waste, a gradual and slow exposure to these electronic waste causes skin problems to these people, and these skin problems, if exposed on regular basis, gets on becoming a bigger problem in the gradual phase of time. So this is what is causing problem, and especially all the children who are involved in this sector. So what happens is that these children who are exposed to these metals, all these radiation and exposure to these metals is causing a lot of health issues to these children. So electronic waste or e-waste is short for electronic waste, and the term is used to describe old, end of life or discarded electronic appliances. So all the appliances which have become old or we are not using anymore, so we tend to dump them. So it includes their components, consumable parts and pairs. And these electronic waste are categorized into 21 types under two broad categories, and these two broad categories are, first is information technology and communication equipment and the second is consumer electrical and electronics. So these electrical and electronics and IT and communication, what happens is, see, you all must be familiar with laptops, I think. So whenever you will think of dumping a laptop, so whenever you will give that to someone else, so what happens is that person to whom you give will be trying to see that few of the metals that are present inside it, or wherever you go, and if you will read about the laptops, that why are they have a price even though when they are not working, is also because of these metals which are present inside them. So there are laws to manage e-waste in our country, and they have been in place since 2011, mandating that only authorized dismantlers and recyclers collect e-waste. Only who are authorized will be allowed to dismantle and recycle the e-waste. And there is e-waste management rules 2016 which is present in our country, and we tend to go into the into the provisions of the electronic waste management on the basis of the Electronic Waste Management Rules 2016. So what happens is, two of the important points regarding the e-waste is, we all know about the Basel Convention which came into place in 1992. So Basel Convention talks about the transboundary movement of the hazardous waste. So this hazardous waste, Basel Convention, when came into place in 1992, did not include the electronic waste into it, but in 2016 in the COP 8, the electronic waste was included in the Basel Convention. So now Basel Convention have the provisions of electronic waste also inside it. And then one of the important point that you need to know is that India's first e-waste clinic for segregation, processing and disposal of waste from household and commercial units have been set up in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. So this is an important point for you to know from both prelims and mains perspective, that India's first e-waste clinic is set up in which state, that is Madhya Pradesh, and which city is Bhopal. Then comes the e-waste generation in India. So first and foremost is that according to the Central Pollution Control Board, India generated more than 10 lakh tons of e-waste in 2019-20. So these are the data which is given by CPCB, and there is an increase from 7 lakh tons from 2017-18, and then e-waste dismantling capacity has not been increased from 7.82 lakh tons since 2017. So see, when we are producing electronic waste, then we should also have, on the other hand, the process to dismantle this or electronic waste. But if the production of electronic waste or the dumping of electronic waste will keep on increasing and the dismantling process will not increase, so this is where the imbalance will lie. So if the process or the production or the consumption or the disposal of electronic waste will keep on increasing while the dismantling will remain same, then the disbalance or the inequality between both will increase. Then in 2018, the Ministry of Environment told the tribunal that 95% of e-waste in our country, that is in India, is recycled by the informal sector. So this is an important point for you to remember, that majority of the recycling in our country has been done by the informal sector, not the formal sector. It is the informal sector who is doing it. And the scrap dealers unscientifically dispose of it by burning or dissolving it in acids. So while they try to do it by burning or dissolving in acids, so this exposure of acid also causes health issues, and then gradual and in longer format when this exposure of acid takes place, so this is what causes the health issues in people. Then comes India's e-waste problems. What are the problems that we are going through at present? So it is Global E-Waste Monitor 2020. According to it, world dumped 53.6 million metric tons of e-waste in 2019. And India produced 3.2 million metric tons of e-waste, much of which is dumped for dismantling and recycling in Seelampur with no regulation. So Seelampur is an area which is on the outskirts of Delhi, and this is very famous for the dumping of the electronic waste. So what happens is, see, electronic waste, majority of the countries or the developed nations which dump their electronic waste, they are dumping those electronic waste in the developing countries. So our country, that is India, is one of the houses of the dumping for the developed nation about the electronic waste. So according to the Global E-Waste Monitor 2020, the world is dumping 53.6 million metric tons, while India is producing 3.2 million metric tons out of it. And one of the biggest areas where we dump our electronic waste is Seelampur area on the outskirts of Delhi. Then what does this e-waste consist of is majority of discarded computers, desktop screens, mobile phones and air conditioners. So when these are dumped at our places, then many of the people or the rag pickers go at that place and then they take out all these small metals which can be useful to them, and they sell those metals or those useful components from this e-waste to some other people, and this is how they earn their living. And they many a times they also find a small quantity of gold, copper and other metals inside them. Now let's talk about what are the challenges of management of e-waste in India. So the problem here is that challenges, and one of the biggest challenges we are facing in today's time is on the part of ineffective legislation. That legislation needs to be very strong. The effectiveness of legislation has to be strong, because when it comes to the implementation part, then this aspect of electronic waste management is usually ignored. So we need a proper legislation to it, and the 2016 management rules also needs upgradation in it, so that if the legislation will be strong, then the people will be able to obey these rules on a regular basis. Then less involvement of people. The problem arises when the awareness about the electronic waste are not much among the people. So when the awareness is not that much, so people tend to ignore what can be the harmful or the hazardous aspect of these electronic waste. So awareness is important, and if awareness will increase, then more and more number of people will be included in this process. Involvement of child labor. This is one of the biggest issues of electronic waste, that there are many children below the age of 18 or below the age of 16 or around the age of 10 to 14. They are employed in this sector, and especially at the sites where they go and pick these dumped products and the important component from these dumped projects. And the problem also lies because see, these children who are not properly educated, and because they do not realize that the exposure they are getting of the metals that they are using or of the situation that they are under it, they do not realize that it is putting a negative and a hazardous impact on their health. And we also see that a long and a gradual or a slow exposure to these problems tend to increase their health risk, and they tend to, after a short period of time, or after, I would say, working for some 5 to 10 years in this sector, they tend to develop many kind of health diseases. Then comes the problem of health hazards, as I have already told you. Then e-waste import. So when we are importing a lot of e-waste from other developed nations, we also need to have those dumping grounds in our country. And when those dumping grounds are not there, and if those dumping grounds are getting filled at a regular basis, then we need to have a proper management to tackle this problem. And if we are not able to tackle this problem, this is what is creating a pressure on the whole system of the management of electronic waste in our country. So these are few of the challenges that we need to look into. And then comes the e-waste management rules 2016. So the e-waste management rule 2016 came into light after the suppression of the e-waste management and handling rules 2011. So after this, the 2016 rules came into picture, and this includes over 21 products. So over 21 products were included under the purview of the rule, and these e-waste management rules also brought the products under the extended producer responsibility along with target. So the EPR, that is the extended producer responsibility, is an important aspect, and this has worked well also, because if we will give the responsibility to the producer, so the person who is producing the items will have to bear the responsibility also of whatever harm the product will cause to the environment. So if the producer at the level of production will take the responsibility of it, then the process afterwards will become easy. And then the provision of penalty for violation of rules has also been introduced inside the e-waste management rule 2016. Then there is allocation of proper space to existing and upcoming industrial units for e-waste dismantling and recycling. Okay, this problem of e-waste dismantling and recycling has been a major one. If we will increase the recycling of the products, then this will be a very good aspect. and plus the space for the dismantling units needs to be provided, because if the production and the use of the electronic waste will keep on increasing and dismantling aspect will not be looked into it, in the longer run and in the coming future, this is what will create the majority of the problems. And then deposit refund scheme was also introduced in the 2016 rules. Deposit refund scheme means that in the starting only, whenever the producer or the seller will give the product to someone, then in the starting only that person will take an extra amount from the person, and when the life cycle of the product gets completed, then the person would return that money to the people who have taken those products from the seller. So these are few of the guidelines regarding the e-waste management rules 2016. Now let's talk about the way forward, or what can be the probable solutions in these problems. Then first and foremost being the policies and better implementation, as the dismantling part needs to be looked into, and second is the recycling part. So if that can be done, then majority of the problem will be solved at that point of time only. The need of inclusion, more and more people needs to be included in this aspect, and then legislation needs to improve. Encouraging informal sector, so that encourage the informal sector also to look into the dismantling and the recycling part through a proper legislation, and they follow the proper rules and regulation also, and the involvement of the child labor or the involvement of the children needs to get reduced. Then increase in employment. So if we will properly channelize the problem of e-waste management in our country, so this aspect, the e-waste management, can also create a lot of employment for the people, because this is an upcoming field where the dumping of e-waste is on a rise in our country. So if this will be managed at a proper level and through proper channels, then the employment status will also be increased. Now it's time for the prelims MCQ, and you people need to tell me the answer in the comment section. And this is a PYQ. This came in the year 2019 and was asked by UPSC, and it says, in India, extend producer responsibility was introduced as an important feature in which of the following? The Biomedical Waste Management and Handling Rules 1998, Recycled Plastic Manufacturing and Usage Use Rules 1999, the E-Waste Management and Handling Rules 2011, and the Food Safety and Standard Regulation 2011. So try to solve the question and give me the answer in the comment section. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading and keep writing.